What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room. So we got this young lady right here. You know what I'm saying? She's okay looking. But no, seriously though. So you see the title of the broadcast. This young lady says she served Jeff Bezos when she was a server at some restaurant and things like that. And she felt like he should have tipped more, or she didn't get a tip from him specifically. You know, it's complicated, but it's not at the same time though, too. So we're gonna go here now and see what she has to say. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Last year, Jeff Bezos came into my restaurant and I had the opportunity to serve him, and he did not pay the bill. In fact, I was told that Jeff doesn't get the bill and that the bill will be delivered to his two security guards that sat at the bar and watched him eat. To which of no
Okay, that makes sense. You know, it's kind of what he has people in place for, to do certain things for him. I mean, you if you're that rich, yeah, you would have people in place to do things for you. I don't know why you wouldn't.
nobody's surprise, they left a 20% tip, which I'm always grateful for. Any tip is better than no tip. But it made me sick that that man could hand every single person in that restaurant $60 million, and the next 27 generations of his family would still be able to not lift a pretty little finger and be able to survive. He was actually very nice and addressed me by my first name and was very respectful, remembered my name the whole time. And even Lauren was very sweet, but it just blew my mind that they rid themselves of the responsibility of knowing what the bill was, because then that way they kind of bypass me as a server being able to say, oh, well, Jeff didn't tip me.
It's not about you, baby.
And that, my friend.
My bad. Hold
Look,
on.
look what she did.
Sorry. I got a little wild on the soundboard. Sorry. But it's not about you, baby. You know what I'm saying? Listen, look, it's the bypass. Yes, that's the reason why he got people put in place for certain things. And I would too. And another thing too that she mentioned, it amazes me how entitled people feel to somebody else's finances on this planet. And this is, and sometimes it is a woman's thing, for her to think that way. It's like, and I get it. You have some broke men out here that would feel the same way too. It'd be like, oh my goodness, man, you should have, did this and that and woo woo. But in this case, we're talking about her. It amazes me how entitled she feels to think that, Jeff Bezos could have gave everybody in there $60,000 and his children would have never suffered and this and that. I mean, that man worked hard to get to that point. If he had been Jeff Bezos, the average guy coming into the restaurant, would she be saying that shit then?
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Would she be saying the same thing then? It's amazing to me how people feel so entitled to, people's money.
Security did. And no tea, no shade. Nice doesn't pay the bills. I'm not ever expecting somebody to give more or anything at all. It's truly, I feel grateful when people tip. My service was good. But for them to speak so highly to me, of me, Jeff and Lauren told me my smile was contagious. They were very nice, which made it harder for me to kind of accept, you didn't even look at the bill and you rid yourself of that responsibility. And
I mean, again, hold on. So they can't be decent people? Jeff Bezos and his wife, they can't just be decent people and give you a compliment without having to give you more money. I mean, because basically that's what she's saying. Well, they rid themselves of the bill, stuff like that. I guarantee you that's how he rolls at any restaurant he goes out to eat. It ain't just her. Whenever he goes out to eat, the security probably do pay the bill. That's just probably how he rolls. And she taking it personal. Seriously, she really is, man.
And that compliment, unfortunately, doesn't get to be split between the 47 people that are working right now. And you could have really changed some lives in there, and it would have meant nothing to you. You wouldn't have even noticed the difference in your bank account.
So you wanted him to tip you enough for you to break bread with everybody else in the restaurant that's working there with you, man.
So what the French toast is there to think about?
Is that what she's saying? Because it sounds like that to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Comment, let me know. I could be wrong now, but it sounds like to me, it's like she could have changed everybody's lives with that one check. And,
and yet you tip the same amount that a hardworking person would if they like their service on a regular Tuesday. So yeah, just with everything I'm seeing, the millions of dollars that they're spending on this wedding and just the showboat that it is, it's quite pathetic that you couldn't even tip your server a little over 20%. Like, no joke. And I'm not saying that from an entitled place, but one time Steve Carell came into my restaurant, his bill was $400 and he left a $1,000 tip.
Okay, so that was that dude. Stop trying to compare men. Men are all not the same. And I wish women would stop that shit. Like, y'all really need to stop that shit. What one dude will do for you, the next dude won't. You know what I'm saying? Like, most women in today's society do this. They go around thinking that every man's supposed to do what the last man did. Like, no, that's not how men work. We think differently. We really do. Now, we agree upon certain things in life. We agree upon certain standards and ways that men should conduct themselves as human beings. We agree upon, men should, actually be decent human beings. It's a lot of things that we do agree upon, but our soul autonomy as human beings, we're different men. Every man is different walking around this planet. Each man, your brother, is different from your other brother, even though they're brothers. Like, come on, man. Each man is different.
Like, just because he has it and he understands the working class, but it makes me quite sad for Bezos. And knowing he's a Capricorn as well kind of just solidifies the shadow of a Capricorn. And when they're not involved, like, he is literally the richest man in the world and is still acting like the brokest one.
I mean, most rich people, when they get that kind of money, that's how they stay rich. I mean, they don't just run around blowing it,
Let that speak for itself. Even with this $50 million wedding, he's still acting like the brokest one. We've seen those wedding invites. And I'm just sharing my experience here because I really do think that people that have an unfathomable amount of money can really change the world and should change the world. Like, I have so many big visions of how I would help everyone and everything around me with that much money, and knowing he could but didn't was really disappointing. So I don't know. Please, Mr. Bezos, don't block me out of Prime. Unfortunately, I am a Prime user. Love what you've done there. Just don't really love everything else you're doing.
Man, okay, and it is what it is here. She stated her opinion, but her opinions is not facts. You can't, obviously Jeff Bezos came in there, treated her with respect, and dignity and things like that, him and his lady. And, the people that normally pay the bill when he go out to eat, they paid the bill. Just plain and simple. That's how he has his life set up. And I don't blame him. It's, when you get to that level, even as a millionaire, when you start rising in levels of finance and stuff like that, and I'm not super rich, but I'm not stupid either. When you start, maneuvering differently with finances, I just know for a fact, like, you're going to move different. And I'm not even there yet as far as, no Jeff Bezos, don't keep me wrong. No. But I could just, just understand this as a man that could think that, I get to that level. Yeah, I would move different. I would have certain people doing certain things for me to keep certain things at bay. And these are just facts. And for her to sit there and feel like, she's entitled to this man and he should have paid more and changed people's lives in this particular setting and stuff like that, like, that's not his job to change everybody's life. Now, the way that he's doing, changing lives through his company and technology and other little things, that's how he's changing lives. Also, too, I'm pretty sure he invests, he gives money to foundations and stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there. But all I'm saying is, though, in this particular moment in time right here, she was expecting Jeff Bezos to just, just like change everybody's life in that whole building at that night, particularly. And that's not how rich people roll. Not at that level, and I don't blame them. Like, they can't be seen just doing crazy shit like that, because that's crazy to get to practice philanthropy and give to a worthy cause or something like that, you know, and work with that way, that's different. But you know, for a billionaire to just go in a restaurant and just set out a whole boatload of money and just change everybody's life that one night, like,
what the French toast is there to think about?
that ain't finna happen. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.